Good evening, everyone. Thankful for you guys coming on in, joining us right now as we are dealing with this relevant and most importantly, this awesome topic. I'm so thankful for you guys watching as we talk about being saved, sanctified, and single. So I have some guests here that's going to come on in the room as we talk about this relevant topic on our 20th edition. Make sure you guys start sharing this video, start watch parties, do everything that you can. We want to get this out. We want to blow this up as much as possible. So I want to introduce those who are going to be watching, those who are going to be speaking. So I want to bring them into the room now. This is Sister Brianna Hickens. She's from Cleveland, Ohio. She is a praise and worship leader at the Greater Peace Missionary Baptist Church. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hey.
Our next guest is Pastor Chris Attaway Jr., the proud pastor of the Tabernacle City Church in Cleveland, Ohio. Thank you so much, Bless.
What's going on? Thank you so much for having me, man.
Bless you. And then also I have Miss Kayla Watson that resides in Houston, Texas. And she is a 7th and 8th grade teacher as well as an athletic director. I want to make sure I got that right.
You're correct.
All right, awesome. And then finally, we have Reverend Micah Gaines. He is the pastor of worship. I want to make sure I got that right at the Consolidated Baptist Church and also a doctoral student at United Theological Seminary in Dayton. Bless you, man. Thank you so much for joining. So we're here. We're talking about being saved, sanctified, and single. So I want to start this off with an icebreaker and let you guys guide the conversation. And so one of the things I want to ask is, what is your ideal first date? So I want to start this off with an icebreaker.
Wait a minute. What's the question?
Your ideal first date.
What's an ideal first date?
What kind of question is this?
Come on, just think about what is your expectations?
I don't want to go to dinner. I want something like interactive, so we can have conversation. I don't want to just sit over dinner and it'd be awkward just looking around. So I prefer like something, maybe like Top Golf or something, or bowling, something where we're doing something we can have conversation, not just sit and look at each other over a meal.
Anything that involves dialogue. I feel like a first date, you need to be able to talk to the person you're in contact with. So anything that allows you to dialogue and get to know somebody and ask questions and listen in a space that's safe, it's not awkward. Anything in that regard is going to be
safe.
pretty conducive.
Safe and not awkward.
To get you in an alleyway. I want something I can actually see you. I want to be able to see you. I want to be able to talk to you. And I me personally, I like to eat myself. So, even if we got to do like at least a snack, Chick-fil-A, something quick. Because food is my attention. That's just me. So yeah, I think anything that has to do with some form of talking is going to be good for us.
Right.
It can be interactive as long as it leads to food, because I got to eat. That is the way to my heart. If you want anybody to know me, I love to eat. We got to do something with food.
See, I'm greedy, so my first date, I'm gonna eat before I come.
Oh no!
I'm gonna eat again.
I eat for substance.
I'm greedy. I'm gonna tell you, but I don't want you to see it on the first date. I'm gonna eat before I come. I might get like a little, what's it called? Cheese sticks or something.
No.
You need to see all of me.
But I like to eat, so I'm gonna eat before I come.
This is gonna get good tonight.
Lord have mercy.
This says you need to see all of me, huh? Take me to go to corral.
Not go to corral.
I take my son there. I don't want to go there.
Not going corral.
Go to corral.
Not go to corral.
Deal breaker.
Down here, yeah.
That's a deal breaker.
Oh no!
But you know what? It's a deal breaker if she suggests Golden Corral.
If
No,
she's
it's a deal breaker if you take me there and like this supposed to be something big. Like, you know what? I got something for you. Golden Corral. No, I'm not.
Oh
Gonna
yeah, if you try to surprise me with Golden Corral, it's a problem.
I got a surprise for you. Where we going, boo?
Icebreaker.
Go to Corral.
Yeah. Something gonna come up. Something gonna come up. I ain't gonna be able to go.
Ponderosa.
I've been there.
Oh, wait. Ponderosa's not a business, right?
That thought
I
so.
think it's
Yeah, they
closed.
closed.
Just like
It's
Hometown is closed. No?
Yeah, they've been gone. They've been gone for a minute.
I don't do too much what they call that? Open buffets.
You ain't say that like that. I thought you go frequently.
No, Corona's out here. Mm-mm.
And so we want to lighten it up with an icebreaker. So I kind of one of the things that we want to begin with talking about this topic of being saved, sanctified, and single, knowing all of us are saved in the room. Thank you, Jesus, and wash the blood of the Lamb. One of the things is about navigating the single life. And so I want you guys to kind of give the ones that are watching right now kind of your share of your ups and downs. You know, being saved, most of you guys are in the church, active in the church. What are some of the ups and downs of navigating, you know, you being saved and walking your purpose and navigating being single?
Dr. Gaines?
You won't start. You won't start.
Well,
Ladies first.
that's the rule.
Not ladies first. I went first last time, Brianna. Go ahead.
What we talking about? The ups and downs. For me, dating is super hard because I'm a mother. I have an 8-year-old son. So dating for me looks way different than others. I mean, some good things about being single that I've come to realize is in my season of singleness is that it allows me to focus on certain things that God wants me to do, whether it's ministry or finishing school or whatever the case might be. Being single helps me to focus and put my all into certain things just because of how I know I am when I get into relationships. Some of the downs are it gets lonely, especially when I see my peers and people are happy. They look happy. They in relationships. People getting married and I mean it gets to me because it's just like, you know, like when is it my turn? You always get that feeling of like, so when will it be my turn? Like my son is 8 and he coming home like, so when I'm gonna have a brother? And I'm just like, huh? Like,
sir.
So I mean, sometimes it's good. I get to do things. I get to do what I want to do. Nobody's questioning me. I get to live freely and that. But then sometimes just kind of like you get lonely. You want that companionship. I love love. I love everything about it. So I love family. So like at certain times I get in that space where I'm like, well, when will it be my time? Like when is it gonna happen for me? So those are kind of like the ups and downs that I go through. And then deciphering with being in ministry and being in a church, deciphering who's there for you and who's there for your title is also like a thing I deal with. Feel that?
For me, I think in my singleness, I try to maximize my singleness. I feel like I'm not ready for a partner if I didn't know my purpose. So for me, I was trying to figure out my purpose, what I'm supposed to do while I was single, while I am single. And now that I figured that out, how to navigate it, because relationship can be a distraction. It can cause you to fall off track, or it could cause you to not focus on what you should be focusing on, and priorities kind of get thrown off sometimes. So I want to be secure in what I'm doing and what I'm supposed to be doing before getting in a relationship, so it won't throw me off my course or it won't be a distraction to what I'm supposed to be doing. But like you said, it is hard. It is hard dating because you don't know people's intentions and people aren't always honest about their intentions. So you have to go through those first questions, like, you know, do you go to church? Do you believe in God? And people say, yeah. But then when y'all start talking, you kind of see their habits and what you like and don't like. And it kind of makes it hard because you have your priorities and what you want in somebody. And they say that they are those things, but then they turn out not to be those things, like, oh, it's time wasted, or I shouldn't even have talked to them or whatever. So dating is difficult, but it's ghetto. That's what we got to go through. Brothers.
Let's see. The ups and downs of dating. I've had some ups. It's been an up is when you find someone that understands what you're called to and they're supportive of that. When they actually have all of those qualities that you're actually looking for. Some of the downs have been they didn't know what you were called to. Some people tried to sabotage it. Some people were stressed out because they didn't know the magnitude of what you give to it. And so they don't understand the sacrifice of it. So to find someone that understands and willing to sacrifice as much as you sacrifice, that every day you can't go on that date you want to go on. So finding somebody that actually understands is the downside. But when you find somebody that do understand, it's a big plus.
I would agree with that. Like I said, we're all in ministry to some extent. So the up is when you know you have that person, and they get you, you get them, and you have that balance. The downside is working through the parts that don't make Instagram, the stuff, the hard conversations, the conflict, the communication, the things that actually comprise the foundation of who you are. Like I'm dating now. She's probably watching. Hey, babe. Like I'm dating now. We're at the point now where we're having those hard conversations about making sure that the foundation is straight. It's long distance. So in a space where companionship is desired, it's wanted, it's appreciated, how do we make this thing work from 1,000 miles away? So having those conversations, making time, staying balanced, ensuring we have good communication, things work. And those are things that aren't always the attractive things that make the relationship go close. But they're the realities that make a foundation, makes things strong. So those are things we have to work on and make sure it's tight, and make sure things work the way you want to work.
That's real. That's real. And so with that being said, you guys were talking about, I heard Kayla, you were saying that dating's ghetto because you see people, you talk to them, they sound one way, and then as you continue going on, it's like, who the heck is this person? So I kind of want you guys to, like, if you can be transparent, share with me your experiences of dating. When it comes to either if you dated somebody inside and or outside of the church, and how was that? Was it interesting? Was it good? What did you learn, like, from all of that? From that experience in itself. I definitely want to hear these stories.
Wow.
Pastor, out of way.
Wow. Oh, in the words of Kayla, ghetto. It has been ghetto. It has been an uphill journey. Wow, I didn't think I was gonna have to go first. You know what? I've dated people outside of the church, and I've enjoyed it. I enjoyed this word that many people don't use in the church, and it's called balance. I think sometimes when I've dated outside of the church, they helped me to see that I have a bigger life than sitting in the office or reading James Cone or sitting or calling the church or creating something for the church. It's like, no, cut that out. We're going out. We're going outside. Because I'm the type of person that if I get into the groove, and I know I ain't in this by myself, so y'all might as well help me. When you get so invested in church,
Absolutely.
You wake up writing, thinking, working, you go to sleep.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, you go to sleep with your laptop open so you can wake up on the same thought.
Absolutely.
I mean, come on. And so when you find somebody outside the church, they be like, no, come here. And that's
the laptop.
Close the laptop. And so even dating the flip side of that is when I've dated people inside of the church, it's been a blessing because they understand my walk, they understand my sacrifice. But then at times I've grown to be aggravated. And so I teach this, or I push this notion of balance. Like, okay, I want us to read scripture. I want us to know him, but I want us to also go to the mall. And I don't want to talk about scripture. I don't want you to be like, oh, look at those clothes. Oh, he's clothing me in righteousness. No. I just want to buy those J's. And I don't want to be like, oh, I'm buying J's because it's in Jesus' name. So, those are the pros and the cons. I've enjoyed dating outside of the church. I know that it's best that I date inside the church, but it's like, I just find that balance. That balance is key, man. It's key.
So very key. I think for me, of course, I've dated in church as well. The thing I had to learn early on is never date your own members. That was probably the biggest thing I learned. It gets messy very quickly. So in discerning, what you want, people that you're attracted to, still discerning, how things look, and making sure that you're not putting your own walk at risk or anything that's compromising, not just in your space, but also in the public space. Because regardless of right or wrong, when things get messy, we lose whether we're right or wrong. And that's what we have to be very mindful of. So I'm very conscious, even though I date people in church, I stopped dating people inside my local church probably 4 or 5 years ago, because it just wasn't important. That's a very slippery slope people have to realize very quickly, or else it's just not going to end well at all.
Guess I'll go. I can't say I really dated inside of church, but I do know outside, like Chris said, it's kind of difficult finding. Sometimes you want to have these conversations with people, like, godly conversations, and sometimes people don't understand. They always just want to be like, no, let's go do this, let's go do that. But you kind of want to have those conversations, but then sometimes you do want to be outside, and you do want to be out at wherever the local spot is, or whatever the case may be. But having a partner that understands both sides is key. But I haven't really dated in a long time, so don't ask me. It's ghetto, so I try to stay away.
I'm weary.
I'm gonna be 100% honest. I have not dated anyone in church. There's multiple reasons as to why, but either way, it's been a struggle. Outside, inside, around the block, around the corner. It's hard for me. Dating inside of the church looks different. I was raised in church. I was brought up in church, but I am. How do I want to put this? I have never been like the typical like church girl, if that makes sense. So like I have tattoos. Most of them visible. If anybody know me, know. And like I live my life. I'm loud. I'm vibrant. I say the things that people think, but I'm gonna say it out loud. I don't care. Like I've always been that person. So I've never been the ideal girl that anybody in church would date. And I also don't put up with a lot of mess.
Yes, sis.
So I've never been the ideal, like, oh, you know what? That girl that was singing, like, let me talk to her. I've never been that girl. So I've never really dated inside of church, knowing that I should. I mean, I've always known that it's important to be equally yoked with whoever you're with. But in this day and age, it is so hard. Just because not all church men, I'm not going to put everybody on blast, but some of the men I've met in church are parallel to the ones outside of church.
Oh, you being messy now.
So it's
being real.
So it's kind of like, what do I do? Do I stay outside? Do I come inside? Like, so I just be chilling because it's hard to try to decipher between the two, and it take a lot of time. And I just need
effort.
Too much effort. Take more effort than it should.
Tell me this, B Money. What's the difference between being vibrant and loud?
Some people are just loud.
Okay.
For attention. Some people just have a personality that just fills up a room.
Okay.
And I have both.
Boom.
So I have both.
Okay, I like that. Like, before we move on, I think another issue that I think the reason why I lean more on the side of dating in the church is because some people in church kind of understand your weaknesses and your strengths. And it's easier to lose a witness with people outside of church than those who are in the church, because those who have that experience kind of be like, okay, I understand that he's man of God, but he's still man, that he's a preacher, but he's still a person. And I know y'all notice a lot of people can't see you outside of your title.
Can't separate it.
They can't separate that. It's like you preacher all day. I mean, you go to Top Golf. What you doing here? I'm at the top. I'm golfing. That's why I'm here. Or you see him at a restaurant. What you doing here? I have to eat to survive.
I get hungry too.
Yeah, I don't eat by bread alone. So I think that's one of the keys that I've found. You can find balance in the church, but you find fun in the street, and sometimes they more loyal and real. But that ain't what we're talking about.
Shout out to the streets. Holy your hood.
Y'all story, not mine. So y'all
Micah Gaines has been saved since birth.
Oh God.
He came out of the womb saved and said, yeah. Where's our moderator?
I'm right here, man. I'm listening to y'all. I'm listening to y'all share, man.
I'm nervous.
Live. So with that being said, I just, y'all were talking about, more or less of y'all working within your calling, within your purpose, and talking about dating in and outside the church. So with that being said, do you feel that people are intimidated by your purpose when they date you? Do you feel that people are intimidated? Like when y'all start dating, they get intimidated and they start acting a different way?
I don't think it's intimidation. I think sometimes they just don't know what to do with you because they don't know. I mean, they just don't know. And oftentimes, the more we walk with the Lord and the more we work with the Lord, we really don't know. We are consistently and evolving into something more. And so I don't think people want to take that challenge. I think it's a challenge for people that I don't think I don't take it.
Yeah, I would agree. Like, I don't think it's a matter of intimidation. I think people know what they want to get into, and they know their tolerance for patience, the patience tolerance, and they just have to be honest with themselves and decide, is this what I want? But I don't think it's a matter of intimidation. It never really has been.
I know for me, it's the same. Like sometimes nobody is watching in Houston, but like our local place is called the address. Just sometimes.
Connection come now.
Did we lose you?
Don't you work with the kids at Wheeler? And I'm like, oh. But so just like having to always watch what they're doing. I know for me, like, I don't know if anybody I've dated. I know if I get them to come to church with me, that's another problem. Like when you go to church and you value church and you prioritize church, dating somebody who doesn't prioritize church or value church, that's kind of hard because you'll find yourself, they'll find themselves like not going, and then you'd be like, oh, or they're like, let's just go to brunch. So then you might get in the groove of not going sometimes, or having to go super early so that you can still make brunch instead of going at your regular church time, just all that balance and all that stuff. So I know, like, for me, just trying to be I still want to have fun, but then you have those moments where you can't do everything with everybody. So
yeah, then that's challenging too.
Very, very much so.
That's challenging. The reality is, I want to go kick it sometime. I don't, and be honest with you, I don't want to drink. I just want to kick it.
Right.
But I just want to be in the number. And if you in the number, it's just the appearance of it. And so I think that's
from the appearance of people.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's the sacrifice that I can't go when I just want to be there. I want to be outside the house.
And you can't explain things to everybody. Somebody might see something from the wrong angle. You can't go over there and be like, no, this is what it is, or this is what it's not, or whatever. You don't have that time if you're out and about. So somebody might see something and take it and run with it, and it's really not what they saw, or it's not the appearance of really what it was.
The unfortunate part is that in what we do, perception is reality.
Yes.
And that's the part that is a major struggle. I think anybody who's in ministry, anybody who knows me knows most of my friends don't live in Lexington. So part of the reason that I travel so much is because that's my release. I can relax. I can hang out. I can just be me. I don't have to be the worship pastor when I'm on the road. I can just be Micah, just do normal stuff. And I don't always have the luxury of doing that in my home area because everywhere I go, I'm Pastor Gaines' son. The movies, the restaurant, the athletic event, just random stuff. So like I travel for my own personal sanity. So I'm struggling now with this pandemic because a major part of my balance is gone and is going to be absent for the foreseeable future. And that's just what we deal with. We don't have the luxury of letting our hair down. Not often. That's very difficult, especially the smaller the area you're in. So being able to find that balance and still, fulfill your ministry, be excellent at what you're doing, and still be balanced enough to enjoy just normal recreational life.
Yeah.
Like,
and I wonder where that came from for people to think that we're not supposed to have. I mean, it is what it is, but I think it's something to be said about it. That who said that we can't live?
I think it's like a Black church culture. It just holding people up to a higher standard.
I mean, shoot, you can't do nothing. You go get a pink lemonade. What's in it? It's just lemonade.
It's lemonade. I promise you, it's lemonade.
I promise you, I'm allergic to this stuff. I struggled with that being in ministry at a young age, and I know all of you have. Sure. You struggle with the stage and life. I remember a time, and I know we're supposed to be talking about being single. I don't know how we got here, but I remember a time I was playing drums from my home church, and a group of my cousins was going to Dave and Buster's. But because I was a church drummer, I had to go to afternoon service. I cried. Right. And I had a church member come up to me and go off because I wanted to live my life as a teenager.
Gotta serve the Lord, man. Gotta serve the Lord.
Right. No, you ain't got no leisure. Dave and Buster's.
You don't have no leisure.
Church.
So I mean, then you grow up and then you start dating and it kind of becomes your norm. Then you kind of program yourself to Saturdays, I'm in the house. Sundays, it's a work day. Monday, I'm a rest. So I only got Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and Friday, maybe, because Friday the devil is running. This is the things I heard. The devil is running rapid, so you stay in.
If you got Bible study during the week, those are prep days as well.
Yeah, come on.
For me, like I literally came to the point I had to write a paper, like an autobiography, spiritual autobiography for school. And I got to the point where I literally came to grips with the fact that I missed out on literally my entire undergrad career. And I was angry at myself because I started preaching the summer after my freshman year. From then on, like I was at the church 5 days a week. I had office hours. I was directing. I was playing. I was overseeing stuff. So I'm looking now 6-7 years later. I'm like, I missed out on my young adult, on my collegiate years because I didn't know balance. And that was a very tough pill to swallow because it's just like, if I can't learn balance now, it's going to become even worse as things progress. And like Adaway said, like this has nothing to do with being single. This is just where the conversation went. But like I said, balance is literally probably a struggle for so many people because a lot of people don't know how to shift from those paradigms. Not effectively. Either you go from one extreme to the other, and that's not healthy, or you stay at one and lock yourself in a silo, and that's not healthy either.
Churches need to start to teach their youth about balance because if you don't, it creates resentment. And that's what low-key happened to me. I grew up in church, but by the time, I had my son when I was a teenager. By the time I got to college, it was all bets is off. I'm away from home and nobody telling me nothing. And since there's no balance, you go from one extreme to the other. And then it's hard to get back into church. Like for me, when I got to college, I didn't sing for 3-4 years. I refused to sing. You couldn't pay me to sing.
Wow.
And it was just like the resentment of, in church hurt and how people treat you when you do get out and when you want to have fun, but they don't understand the balance because that's a different generation. They grew up different. They were taught different. So they only taught us what they knew. So with that, I just want the churches now to teach that it's okay to go out, and if you want to have fun with your friends, it's okay to do that. It's all about your motives when you go out. That is what you really have to deal with, is your motives. Like, what is your motive for going out? What is your motive for doing this? What is your motive for doing that? But having fun with your friends, like, I encourage that, because you need that, or you're gonna lose your mind quickly. Especially with dealing with church.
I think sometimes people put their faith in the people instead of their faith in God. So then when they see you out, they like, oh, this is not what you're supposed to be doing. They expect you to be perfect. So they miss the whole balance part, how Chris said that you're a man and you're a man of God. So like it's two different things. So people are looking at you one way and they expect you to be perfect. They expect you to be up here, and that's not really reality. Everybody has desires. Everybody, like you said, want to go out. People want to have fun. People want to be out with their friends. And like Micah said, he ended up missing out on college because he didn't have that balance. And the perception sucks, because you can just be out and not having a drink because your friend's drinking. Oh, I seen them drinking. You didn't see a drink in my hand, but that's not the point.
Nope.
I think it causes the opposite person to look at you like, okay, so what type of person is this going to be growing up? Am I going to be in a boring relationship, or am I going to be in a vibrant relationship? And it just causes this tug of war. I know for a fact, I've heard many times when I would say, well, because of ministry schedule, our Sunday morning, you like to try to rest kind of a little bit, try to get a little well-rested body. You'd be like, okay, well, I'm not doing that Saturday night. Well, why we can't go out? Well, I got to serve in the morning. Well, is this going to be boring? Well, listen now, you gotta, and I hate to say it like this, well, this is what feeds us right now. Okay. So I got to do what I need to do. Y'all come on, help me. Y'all know I'm talking right. Because you want to know, if you're not your best on Sunday morning, it don't matter what church you're looking at you like, okay, what? Then you got to protect your spirit as well as give the Lord a well-rested body. And I think as much as this has been somewhat defective to our relationships, it has been effective because it has given us foundation. It has given us a sense of balance. It has given us a sense of pullback, because I know if I didn't have church as all of this, as much as I complain about it at times, I would probably be somewhere drunk, high, messed up, strung out. But thanks be unto God. You know, I've seen some saints that didn't have good, solid structure. Right. And they are not even, I know people that are licensed and ordained that didn't have the structure I had and the discipline I've had, and they're now Hebrew Israelites. Catch my drift?
Absolutely.
So I think that as much as we complain and we upset about it, it's some positives out of this. We just have to find that right person that can understand all that we're called to.
And once you find that person, it makes things so much easier.
Yes.
So where do you find that person?
I don't think there's one right answer. I feel like
I don't think so.
Right answer.
We wouldn't be out here.
I got an answer. You need to be so deep in the Lord that they got to seek him to find you. How?
Yeah.
I really want him to be quiet. It sounds real good.
She really wanted to answer.
But no, like not like where do you find that person? But it's just kind of like, like the other people, like you should find somebody in church, or if you find somebody outside of church, it's not the person for you or whatever. So it's just kind of like, you don't want to find nobody in a club, but you don't want to date nobody in like at your church per se. But it's just like, so where do you go? If you can't go to Bella Church, where can you go?
Everybody watching.
People in the club be the same people at your church.
Period. I go to Club Wheeler.
And these are facts.
Did you?
Everybody.
My virtual pastor is not my virtual church is not a club. Okay.
Our church is a club, but it's like one of the biggest Black churches in Houston. Everybody goes there. So people are going to go out on Friday, on Saturday, and they're going to be at Wheeler at 11, 9, 1, whatever the case may be. That's just the facts.
Well, go get you when I was in school, we had those apps. Go get you a Tinder.
Don't you do that.
Never.
Ain't nothing saved on there. You gotta save your time and don't get on no app.
I found my person,
Praise God, Michael. We all can't be like you.
Godspeed.
So give us some tips.
God's
Where-
It's hard out here.
Let me call Adrian. Let me get some advice.
Shout out to my sister. I love my sister.
Let's call Adrian. Type in Adrian. Give us some advice.
Godspeed to you all.
Well, I mean,
I mean, for me, I found mine when I wasn't even looking. So that was probably my story. Like
When you what?
I wasn't even looking when I found mine. So like that's the difficulty. Like there's not really a rhyme or recipe or formula. Like it just kind of happens. Like I hate to use the word providence, but it kind of just happens the way God just allows things in God's godness. And you can't predict that. You can't script that. You can't, formalize it. It just kind of happens. And I believe that God does that however God chooses to do it in people's lives. And I'm just blessed to have been the beneficiary of it.
And you got to be ready. Like, God not going to send you that person if you're not ready, because you're going to mess it up. And then you're going to be right back in the same spot. Like, well, where are you at? And God, like, I gave him to you, but you messed it up because you was rushing. You can't rush God. He'll give it to you when he wants it, when he wants you to have it.
God presented Eve to Adam, and Adam just happened to bite.
Well, I'm just waiting to be presented. I just
they that wait
upon the Lord
shall renew their strength.
You renew your strength.
I'm screaming.
You done brought up.
Lord have mercy.
So, what about you, Joseph? You keep dipping out. What's up?
We forgot you was on here.
Oh yeah, I forgot about him too.
I am just
where you been?
Look, I say this personally, in my opinion, talking about when we talk about as far as how to find that person. I can tell from both my experience. I dated people outside and even inside, and I can tell you that yes, it's very transparent. It's very awesome to have somebody on the inside that can understand what your purpose is and what you're about. But honestly, I'll be honest with you. I think that I really found, I don't know how to really explain it. It was almost as if meeting somebody on the outside kind of gave me an alignment more or less of, what we're not doing on the outside. And I made some mistakes, and I can be transparent, say that I made mistakes when I got into here, trying to be cool and trying to be fly and trying to be like everybody else. Look, I can say, Brianna, Kayla, y'all say, look, I was one of those folks that was doing that. And I had to learn, by falling flat on my face. And I realized that my mistake, what I did was, I think some of us tried to, be a missionary towards folks that are on the outside and try to use our position, our title to try to draw people on the outside to the Lord Jesus Christ. And unfortunately, we put ourselves on people that aren't ready to handle the real us. And I think that was one of the things that I had to learn through my mistakes from even on the outside, is that I think unfortunately we get so caught up in the sense of church and being so churchy that we really don't be transparent enough and really show the real us. And sometimes what we do is we throw baggage on people that don't deserve it. And
time, preacher.
Look, I'm seeing the time. The time is leaving me because I want to get. I really want to get to this real important topic.
What's the real important topic?
The real important topic is premarital sex.
Oh my God.
Since y'all talked about that, I'll stop right there. I want to talk about that. So let's talk about.
Reverend, the Bible is the Bible. Okay,
the Bible is the Bible.
The Bible is
the
right.
Bible, right?
Somebody's
the Bible is right.
No, let's be honest. Let's come on.
Somebody's wrong.
Let's be honest.
The word is the word.
The Bible is right. Somebody's wrong.
I've been wrong.
Now listen, y'all got people on here. Come on, let's be real. Y'all talk about the Bible, but some people don't follow what the Bible say.
Well, what you're going to, judgment is every man's portion.
So you saying they're gonna go to hell? They have sex?
Pastor? No.
Come on,
don't do that. Don't do that.
Grace abounds.
Come on.
Sex is sin just like the next. If If you out there cussing and fussing, that's a sin. And I'm not telling you to just go out there willy-nilly and do it however you so desire. Ring it in, pull it in, and stop. I'm not gonna go against the word. But if you've done it, I'm not gonna condemn nobody to hell because you've done it. No, I'm not gonna do that.
It's all about intent. It's one thing to slip and fall. It's another thing to grab a parachute and jump. I think we have to give for
Good job, Michael.
Literally, like I said, it's
Good job, Michael. I love it. I love to see it.
right. Because like I said, literally, people can say, some things you slipped in for, you were weak. Other times, you knew going into it what's going to happen. And I think people have to be
right.
And
yeah, you didn't book that hotel for prayer meeting.
Literally, and say literally, if this is who I'm going to be, and I'm serious about my walk, serious about my witness, and there are certain things I'm committed to. And I think that's what it comes down to, having the maturity and the discernment, and just the overall discipline to have convictions and stick with them. Like I said, nobody's perfect. Everybody falls. Like, nobody is proclaiming to be, an immaculate Christian. But it's all in, the fact that we wake up every single day and make the conscious decision that I'm going to do my best in these areas to make sure that my walk remains focused and remains clean and clear before a God who cares. And like I said, forgiveness is great, grace is great, but nobody wants to cheapen that. Like, nobody wants to just take advantage of that, because God is God. At any point in time, God can be like, look, that's it. That's I'm tired of it. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of giving you all this rope and you keep hanging yourself. So I think it comes to a point where who they're going to be and be honest about that and set boundaries and stick with them.
I know for me, I had to learn to not put myself in positions to even fall to that. So sometimes you might want to spend a night at the house. You might want to spend a night. You might want to do certain things. We might want to respond to that, what you do in text, but you can't put yourself in a position to even fall towards whatever you're committed to. So boundaries and discipline.
I also think that the church has done a horrible job at having a conversation about sex. And so now it has led a lot of people to just doing it. I mean, we have to be honest with you, we talk about the sin of lust more than we talk about the okay to have the desire. It is okay to want it. It is the self-control that we must manage. It is okay to want it. It is okay to have the urge. But when you just openly just like, okay, I'm going to do it, then that's out of order. So it's okay. It's just, sex is not a sin. How you do it is the sin. Let's be very clear with that. Right. Because it's not a sin when you're married. So let's not make it this nasty. Don't do it. Stay away from it. I don't want my wife praying against it, talking about, oh no, Lord, take this away. No, don't take that away from you. Don't take that away from you.
Chris,
Lord,
go to sleep.
Me personally, now this ain't for nobody else, but this is me personally. I don't want nobody to talk about, no, Lord, I take this urge from me. No, you need to keep the urge. You need to tell Lord, help me with the urge. Help me so that I get married with the urge. I don't want nobody singing Blessed Assurance when it's my honeymoon night. No, get out of the spirit.
But Jesus is yours. The moral of the story is temptation is real. And especially in this day and age, sex is so accessible to people. You open up with the touch of your finger, your phone, it's showing it. It's on TV. It's here. It's there. So you have to, like what everybody else said, you have to have that self-discipline within yourself. You have to pray. And I mean pray. Because it's hard. It's hard, especially just like, I don't know how to say it, but it's just, temptation is so real. And I think like a lot of churches, they shy away from it because they feel like if they talk about it, then they're going to want to do it. Like, no, they don't want to do it regardless.
They're probably already doing it.
Y'all doing it. So
there's a reason we have more baby educations than weddings.
That's what I'm saying.
And
don't just, shun the people who are doing it, because the quiet ones, they doing it too. Y'all doing it, everybody doing it. So the conversation just needs to be had about self-discipline and how temptation is out here. It is what it is. It's not going to go away. It's not going to die. You just have to be self-disciplined. You have to make that commitment between you and God that I'm gonna serve you, so this is what I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna put myself in these predicaments. I'm not gonna talk to this person. I'm not gonna text that person back. I'm not gonna call him because I'm lonely and it's nighttime. We in quarantine and I'm by myself. Like, you just have to make that decision for yourself. Because it's easy.
Mercy, ma'am.
Joseph,
Listen,
you feel silent.
Listen. I listen.
I can't hear him anyways.
You said what?
She can't hear you.
Hey, I'm sorry, my connection went out, y'all. I'm so sorry, y'all.
What?
My boy came in here and showed me something, boy, it cracked me up. Okay.
You back?
Yeah, I'm back. Yeah.
Okay.
Question.
Like what?
Anyways. So I want to know, what are the boundaries?
Y'all have to translate because I can't hear him. So y'all got to tell me what he's saying.
All right, I got you, sis. Go ahead, Joseph.
So with that being said, so what are Utah's talked about boundaries? So if you do meet somebody for the first time, let's say we went back to talking about a first date, you guys meet the first time. What are some boundaries that you would set if you meet somebody and you guys go on the first date? What is one of those things that you want to set, going forward to, set the precedent and, and to give advice to some of these people that are saying, hey, I'm single, I want to find somebody, I want to be with somebody, or I'm going out on a date and I'm saved. Like, what are some boundaries that you would say needs to be set, so that they can discern that this is for them, or they can discern that that's not the person for them?
Brianna, he said, what are boundaries you set for dating? Like, what advice would you give?
Oh, yeah, y'all go first.
I'm gonna just get mine out the way. And this probably is not the best thing, but I'm a private person, and I release information the more I get to know you. When I find somebody that want to know all 28 years of my life in the first 28 minutes, that's a red flag. Wait a minute, back up, stop, back up. Okay, we can work towards that. I just don't like people that try to do everything in one night. That's a boundary for me. Get to know me. You don't have to figure out everything tonight. That's a I don't know why, but that's a red flag for me. It just pulls back.
And don't get to know me by asking questions. Let's just have conversation. Don't just sit up there with a Q&A like I'm on an interview. Not happening. I'm not gonna answer your questions, sir.
No. and don't try to spend my money more than what you got in yours. Now I got it, and I don't mind.
Say it again.
Don't try to, if you are using Applebee's 2 for $20, don't expect Ruth Chris. I want somebody to help me.
We gonna go Chris because I can pay for it myself. But speak to the next one.
But see, okay,
I want Ruth Chris.
That's your normal. But if you are a 2 for $20 Applebee's type of person, let's stick to the norm. Let's not overdo this. We got many days to come. I
want to go to the Cheesecake Factory.
No, I like that.
She's tired of going crowd.
Because that's Chris' favorite place, apparently. He'll go to corral person, so upgrade yourself.
Kayla, the Lord just told me that your boyfriend gonna take you straight to McDonald's.
And I'm not gonna eat.
She's gonna eat before she go anyways.
Period. I'm eating before I go. You're not gonna pull up to McDonald's and think that's okay. I mean, we can do Chipotle or Chick-fil-A.
I'm humble if somebody.
But I'm not McDonald's. I'm not eating, and I'm gonna look at you out like this.
That's not right. That's not what you, Kayla.
Huh?
That's not what the Lord wants from you.
McDonald's? I know you don't want McDonald's from me. You out of line.
Y'all making me weary tonight. This is the ghetto. Boundaries. I don't.
Dating is ghetto, Micah. It's ghetto out here. I hate it here.
He in a relationship. He not even.
Period.
He ain't even in the community.
Godspeed.
Let me tell you something. My sister is the best girlfriend in the world. He's a blessed man. Okay. He's a blessed man. That's my sister.
That's nice. We want to be blessed too.
My sis.
Okay, so
What was the question?
I have a question. I forgot, but I got another question. Is that okay?
Go ahead.
So how do you know if y'all going Dutch or like if he's paying or if she should pay? Like how do y'all decide that?
Decide what?
Like, okay, so
this a date. Ain't nothing to
but
decide.
how do you I know that. I'm talking about for the people. This conversation. If Brianna, if you hit him up like, let's go to Cheesecake Factory, did that mean you pay, or did that mean he pay, or did that mean y'all pay for yourself? Micah, Chris,
me.
Joseph.
I'm not paying for nothing.
Micah Gaines.
Not ever.
I'll go.
Unless we're in a relationship and that's like we doing that, like we okay, I'm gonna pay for you that. But like that first date type, we getting to know each other. Unless that's a conversation y'all done had before, I just want you to know.
You ain't paying.
I'm not paying.
So I'm a payer because that's just how I was raised. That's whether I invite, whether she invites, that's just me. But more and more, I've seen this whole thing, the rule of thumb, whoever invites is the one who pays. And I feel like
I'm confused.
I feel like you have to communicate that with your person. Like there's not really a set mandate for that. I just know how I'm wired, how I'm raised, but I know everybody's not wired like me. I know I'm paying. That's just me. I prefer that because that's just how I was brought up. Whether I excommunication,
got to a habit of it. It's just like when the bill comes, I just grab it by happenstance.
I'm gonna look at it.
I'm
not gonna look. I'm not gonna open it, but I'm gonna look and see what you do.
Brianna, you say you.
But then I might be like separated because
I'm gonna act like it didn't even come to the table. On
the first date, I'm not paying for nothing. But I'm gonna order with. I'm not. No.
It's different in a relationship. In a relationship, I don't mind. Like if we are together and you pay there and I pay there, that's cool. But this like first getting to know each other and first couple dates.
That's on my expense, is what you're saying.
And you looking at me like what we about to do? I'm not about to do nothing. You about to pay. We're not doing that. We're not doing that.
Daughter said,
if I want to pay, I would take my son out to eat.
Oh my
mercy.
Mercy. Gotta go. Lock it off.
I'm just saying.
Gotta go.
Well, brothers, if you got a credit card, Brianna looking for you.
I don't want no credit card. Have that money.
Let me see your bank.
We ain't trying to pay it back later.
Pay for it.
She said I'm not trying to pay it back later.
No.
I don't want to pay that back later.
Now I will. Well, maybe it is in a dating phase. Now I appreciate when a person slip me like some haircut money, just on the GP.
When I'm getting to know you,
or like relationship
haircut. You pay for my bundle. What are we doing?
Your benefits.
Because this question that many people don't answer is 2020. When does the getting to know phase slide until we together? Well, because this day and age, people are confused on where they
need to have a conversation.
We had that conversation, but if we getting to know each other, don't expect no $50 for no haircut or heavy haircut, unless
$50.
You put money on these bundles. What are we doing?
I'm just
nails, feet. You want
they not free. You met me put together.
I'm so glad.
Mercy.
So what are we doing? You want haircut money?
Well, I mean, maybe it's in a relationship, but I do believe in equality. I mean,
in a relationship, you said getting to know.
Okay.
I haven't even been to getting no face in so long. I forgot how this stuff works.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
I mean, you go out on dates,
myself so long and putting the bill for everybody else. It's just a social norm now.
Right.
It's been the norm.
Well, let me ask you this: What if
it's men out here that don't want to pay?
Well, what if somebody wants to get to know you and they don't have money?
Tell me what he's saying.
Would you be okay if they?
I'm about to say.
Wait, hold up. What? What you say?
What was the question?
Somebody said free of salvation.
If somebody wants to get to know you and they ain't got no money,
they don't got no money. Would you still?
Okay, now you got to specify. Like no money, like you ain't got nothing. Like you just broke. Just like, now come on now. Let's be completely honest. I don't ask for nothing.
Know what type of woman you approaching.
I don't ask for nothing I can't provide for myself. I take care of myself and a whole nother human being.
Period.
So you got to come with something. Being. Like you have to come with something. You can't just, you're not coming empty-handed, not here.
What did you mean by no money?
I mean like nothing.
No, I'm talking about
Joseph. You talking about me?
Yeah, like what did you mean when you said no money?
So,
like what you mean by that?
I'm just saying, so let's just say they want to get to know you, they really like you, and let's say either they have a job or
okay, now y'all tell me
he don't got a job.
He ain't got no job.
If they don't got a job, they able to have some income. I'm just asking the question, what
this is getting
both sides.
Now, what he say?
It's just not only on our side.
If you don't have a job, or you gotta have a job, you gotta have a car, and you can't live with your mama.
Why don't you not?
I don't live with my mama. I have a job and I have a car, so you at least gotta have that.
So how you supporting yourself?
I'm not. How?
Now you looking for somewhere to live. You think you slick now.
Nobody fall in love faster than somebody who needs somewhere to stay.
Why don't you have a job? You a grown man with no money.
What if they lost their job because of COVID-19?
See, that's different. These are different circumstances.
We're not talking about COVID.
He's saying no job. Like you ain't have it before, you ain't got it during, you ain't got it after.
Okay, what about this? What if y'all go out to eat and the person that paid for your car don't go?
I'm not going through. I'm going home. You knew you was going
grab and their car don't go through.
Decline.
I'm gonna tell them the quarterback. You know, like quarterback, maybe they did something.
Decline.
It happens. If you travel a lot, you can be in different places. And
that's why I said call the bank.
Yeah, but he ain't got no job, so he ain't traveling nowhere.
Oh,
so but if you
she's stuck on a no job. Maybe he's not having it.
That is a deal breaker. I'm sorry. I cannot.
Yeah, you gotta have a job, you gotta have a car, and you can't live with your mama.
And you don't have no legit reason as to why you don't have a job. You wasn't laid off or whatever. You just moved here. You just ain't got no job because you just don't want to work. But you could play that game.
I get you on that.
You sound triggered. Has this happened before?
Not me.
Because this sounds personal.
Because we don't get that.
So men, would y'all date a woman with no job?
It depends.
Right, depends.
On what? What it depend on?
I mean, because she could be between. I mean, she probably got fired. Well, if you get fired, you got to have a written explanation. Okay.
I need to see your pink slip.
I need to see why they fired you. Because if they fired you because you weren't showing up to work or you were leaving, nah. But now if you got laid off, if you got money in the bank, right? You in transition. Okay, I can understand that. But if you just lazy and trifling, no. I work too hard. I work too hard for you to be looking at me like, oh, okay, well, I don't know what I'm gonna do. No.
No job.
Somebody's car didn't go through. I'm usually one paying. But if in the case that car didn't go through, I would take care of it.
Of course.
It depends, because I might just be like, oh, start put mine on mine, and here go my card.
She's like, I'm gonna itemize this. This is what I ate.
I'm being like, if we like y'all talk about getting to know each other and what y'all not doing. If I'm just getting to know you and your car don't go through, I'm gonna have to pray on it. I'm gonna go to the bathroom and call my homegirl. Like, girl, why this nigga car ain't go through? What should I do?
Yo, this is so ghetto.
Lord Jesus.
You knew you was going on a date. You should have went and borrowed your money from your mama and them or whoever you need to borrow.
You should have put cash in your pocket and said, look, baby, this is all we got. We got $50.
Not all we got.
Yeah, don't say it like that. We got $35. Make it work.
All we got.
Call me when you get some more money. And then we can reschedule.
Y'all want to see a cloud?
Yeah. All this in his office bad. It's time to go.
Okay.
So what do y'all think about the pre-talking stage? Because I see a comment here which says conversation is definitely needed. Are we together?
Are we talking?
Let's
Confusion.
confusion. Come on.
One, men need to be honest about their intentions. They'll text you what you doing you all day long. You're not gonna what you doing me all day long. I'm at work. Do it text you what you doing, how you sleep. We're not doing that. Tell me like what you want. What's your intentions? Are you trying to date? Are you trying to get to know me for dating? Are you what are you doing? Because we're not about to be texting buddies. I got enough friends.
Damn.
So one,
I've been out the game for a while. Because I ain't used to this. Wow.
But one, a man has to be honest about his intentions. Two, it has to be a conversation. Like once the next step, whatever the next step is, like, hey, what are we doing? I know men don't like that. What are we doing conversation, but it needs to be had. Just ask, what are we doing? Are we? It's like talking and dating. How do y'all use those words? Like sometimes like, are we dating? Like going on dates? Are we dating? Like, are you my boyfriend? Like it's all depends on the person, and y'all have to have that open conversation.
Whatever it is, just don't rush me.
So how long? So what is your time period then? What's your time? What's your time pattern between talking, dating, and a fit? What do you say?
What's your time period for talking and dating?
I feel like you shouldn't put a time limit on it.
There's not anyone.
It should just.
It varies by couple, by people. You can't.
Some people date for 2 weeks and love each other.
Yeah, Lord is my shepherd.
That's not what he wants from me. I need longer than 2 weeks.
Lord is my shepherd. This ain't what he wants.
I will say this. I think men know. They know when they basically when by the time things get started. Like the more we spend time with you, like we know. Even if we don't tell you, like we know what we intend. Whether we intend.
So why don't y'all tell us? What be the problem? Don't waste my time.
I communicate. Like that's what I do. We can't speak for everybody else because I'm not the spokesman for all mankind. Like I said, I communicate. I believe in direct communication. Let us know what we're doing, how we're doing it, and we can decide if we're going to together. That's just what I believe. Like I'm the most positive. Like my girlfriend asked me on like the third day of texting. She was like, "So why are you here? What are your intentions?" And I respect it because I'm like, "Okay, cool. Like you know what you want. You know." And she's like, "Yeah, like I don't have to play the same game. So talk, be direct." And I respect that.
So with that being said, there's another comment. So someone asked, so as Christian singles, are we dating for fun or is the objective marriage?
No. I'm about to be 30. I'm trying to get a ring.
If we not dating to get married, what we dating for?
Right. I don't want you to be my friend. I'm about to be 30 years old.
We wasting time.
So you waiting for
marriage is not your goal.
You're saying and marriage is the end goal.
You said what?
You said marriage is the end goal.
Yeah. What else am I dating for? If you ain't trying to marry me, he said, "Is marriage the end goal?"
Yeah, I'm not dating you because I'm bored. Like, what? That is the end goal. We are not dating to potential. Like, first of all, if you don't see yourself with that person, why are you wasting your time with them? Because that's time you can't get back. Like, you're going to waste a year or whatever the case may be trying to figure out what's going on. Like, if you don't see yourself with that person, why are you dating them? After that initial talking phase.
Right. And don't drag it on. Man.
We're listening.
I
can't even hear neither one of them.
That said white, right? We're not about to sit around and waste time.
Nope. She right. We're not wasting time. We are. Oh, we're grown. We about to be aged out. Stop wasting our time. Stop playing with us.
I told some
valuable women
a year ago. I said, "I'll get over you hurt my feelings a lot faster than I'll get over you wasting my time."
That's the word, man. Write that down.
I will get over you hurting my feelings a lot faster than you wasting my time. I promise you.
These are facts.
That's good.
Write that down in the comments. We can pin that.
I can't hear past the moderator.
You can't hear me?
He ain't say nothing yet. I'll let you know.
Lord jeez. All right. So let's end off because we way past the 45-minute mark. But hopefully you guys have enjoyed this conversation thus far. I've seen some of your comments. I've seen some of your questions as well. We're going to continue this conversation a little bit later. But just to end off, any final words to our panelists? Any final words that you want to give? You know, just to end off this first part, because we ain't finished off yet. But any final words?
Be honest, open about your intentions when you're talking to someone, when you start talking to someone, and don't waste nobody's time. And like what's Janisha, pray and fast while we're in quarantine. Pray, fast, ask the Lord for what you want. While we're in this time, so we go back outside, you'll be able to get what you want. So you should be putting your request in, asking the Lord what type of man you want, what type of woman you want. Right now, what type of person are you? Getting yourself right, because you can't love if you don't love yourself properly, you can't love somebody else properly. So use this time to do that.
I'd say don't waste the time of self-preparation. Like, take the time to get your own self right, to know yourself, to know who you are, what you are not, who you are not, and what you want out of life, so that if somebody comes, you're in a space where you're like able to be prepared to be the partner you desire. Like I met my girlfriend in 2015, her hometown. I was supposed to be there actually a year prior, but things got pushed back years. I know for a fact, if I had met her in 2014, like, I would have been nowhere near ready to even be the partner I was in, trying to be now. People tell me what it was, but that year just helped with preparation. I think even while we're with them, even while we're single, like, if we're working on ourselves, like that, those moments matter, and you can't forsake that time, because I don't believe that God wastes time or moments. So as long as you're doing that, I believe that it makes the journey that much more smooth, because you're able to work on yourself even while you're away from the company of other people.
What's the question?
Oh, some last final words.
Closing thoughts.
Oh,
Closing thoughts to the people.
Let's see. Take advantage of this season. Do everything that it is that makes you happy and that makes you you. When you go into a relationship, it should be two whole people going into a relationship.
Absolutely.
And so you need to make sure that you are whole, that you're over that previous relationship, that you're over that heartbreak. Do the things that it is that you want to do, whether it's going back to school or whether it's working on your ministry, working on a business, or whatever the case it is. Create you some standards, some realistic standards, and make sure that they are parallel to who you are. Like, don't make these standards and these high standards that you can't meet for yourself. Be careful what you ask for. Be very careful for what you ask for, and just spend the time just focusing on what God has called you to do. Because if you focus on what He has called you to do, and you chase after His heart, that person that He has for you, He'll reveal them to you.
Okay. Yeah.
I believe it wholeheartedly.
I agree.
Is it my
Pastor.
turn?
It's your turn, Reverend.
My word of encouragement is to, and I'll have to piggyback on what everybody has already said. Find yourself. There's nothing worse than trying to find you in someone else. Nothing worse than trying to get somebody to complete you, and you don't know who you are. So that would be my first thing. My second push would be to find God, because you can't find true happiness in an empty place. You've got to be full, and you've got to have some type of standard and requirement. And I'm afraid that many people don't have it, because they really don't have a relationship with God. A true relationship with God will give you the requirements of what a relationship would look like with people. And I said it earlier, and I think we were kind of joking, but I think it's a very serious thing, that you should be so deep in God that people have to be in God to find you. If they can just find you, that's an issue. But they should have to address who's guarding you, so that they can know your heart. And I think that we need to take a lot of time to pull our hearts out of relationship and put it in God's hands, so that we can find the one that's for us. And then lastly, invest in yourself. I think it was Brianna that said it.
build yourself in this season. Invest in yourself. Find out who you are and build upon that. If you're called to start that business, do that. Because a lot of people demand a made table but have no utensils for the table.
Mm-hmm.
So make sure that you are crafting and building yourself, and that's outside of church. It is okay to know your word. It is okay to have a Bible in one hand and a newspaper in the other. Find your balance in and outside of church, and I think that it makes a successful person in a relationship.
Awesome. So as you guys were talking, I saw a couple things, but we had to cut it off. So maybe for the next go round, I see Mr. Hood. He said, so with that being said, why do we have to say that if I, as a man, am pursuing you, you should know my intentions? And then Elder Talaferro said the conversation of intent should be had and should be revisited so that both parties are clear of the direction of the relationship. So it sounds like we got some more content to deal with. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this broadcast. Let us know in the comments. Thank you so much, Miss Brianna, Miss Walton, Miss Kayla, Reverend Attaway, Reverend Gaines. Thank you so much for being a part of this panel. Hope you guys enjoyed it. We're going to be off. We are signing off. Give you peace, good vibes, all that stuff. Y'all take care.
Bye.